Hello everyone, how are you today? It's Gigi. Welcome back to my kitchen. Happy Thursday. Had to think about it for a second. I hope you're all doing well. As I told you on yesterday's video that I was going to be making my cornbread dressing with you. I'm going to get it just prepared early, trying to do some early preparations for the Thanksgiving holidays that are coming up. And so what I'm going to do today is I'm going to assemble and put my cornbread dressing together, and then I'm going to put it in a lock and seal bowl. I will not be cooking it with you today, even though I bake it at 350 degrees for about an hour. I won't be doing that today, of course, because I won't be cooking it until the morning of Thanksgiving. But I wanted to show you how I assemble it. I know everybody does it different. This is my little handwritten recipe that I've had for years and years and years. And I just make it the way that I make it for my family. So if it's a little different than what you do it, that's okay. This is just the way that I do it, okay? What I've done is I have made some homemade biscuits, and of course I've been breaking it up, but I've got cornbread in here, and I'm just going to, I'm using my hands, they're clean, but that's just the way you have to do this, okay? But I'm going to really, really crumble this up really fine. I even take the little crunchy ends of the cornbread, make sure it gets all broken up in there, and I just get it as fine as I can. Now you may want to run yours through a blender or some kind of processor or whatever to get it all fine. I just do it with my hands. That's just the way I've always done it, and it's always worked just fine. But what I'll tell you is, while I'm getting all this finally, I'm just filling for bigger pieces and making sure that I've got them. But I've got a couple of children, but it's a textural issue. And hey, that doesn't bother me because I've got things that I don't like the texture of, like bananas. I love the banana flavor, like banana extract or whatever. I love the banana flavor. I don't like the texture of a banana. So I get it that people have issues with texture. But what I don't do is I don't chop up celery and I don't chop up onions in mine, okay? But I do use those two flavors. I use a cream of celery, and I use onion powder to get the onion flavor. It just don't have the pieces of the vegetables. So see, they don't, out of sight, out of mind, they don't know that it's in there. Now I will eat it with those in it. And I'll tell you, my mother-in-law always cooks a pan of dressing, and she brings it too because, you know, my husband grew up on his mother-in-law, my mother-in-law grew up on her dressing, and he likes it. He likes more of a sagey dressing, where I like more of a cornbread dressing. So where she uses sage, I use poultry seasoning. And trust me, if you take that sage and you take that poultry seasoning and you smell of them, they smell a whole lot alike, okay? I don't like a real sagey dressing. Now, do I like my mother-in-law's dressing? Oh, absolutely, I love it. I'm not a picky eater at all. But anyhow, I think I've got that. I just keep filling some bigger chunks that I want to get down to the bottom. But anyhow, that's how it'll, that's my butter that's melted. Okay, so yes, my mother-in-law is a fantastic cook, and I like hers. I like different people's dressings. I just make it a way, you know, that I've always made it, so. Okay, so I'm doing a can of cream of chicken and a can of cream of celery. Now, when I'm done with this will be going into the freezer in a lock and seal container. But when I take it out, this bread is going to absorb a lot of that juice. I made my, y'all remember I showed you on my live about my organic beef, my chicken broth, my beef broth, all the broth that I ordered. Well, I made some chicken broth. When I take it out and I thaw it out, and if it seems like it's a little dry because the cornbread has and the biscuits have all soaked in that into the bread, soaked up all that liquid, I will just add some more chicken stock to it, loosen it back up. But anyhow, okay, so let me get my spatula here. I'm gonna do a can of cream of celery, okay? There's your celery going in. And like I said, that the morning of, if I feel like it needs more liquid or needs more, you know, of one thing or the other, I can add some more liquid to it. So that's 1 can of cream of celery and 1 can. And listen, if you want to make your own cream of celery and your own cream of chicken, by all means, make it, okay? There's a lot of cooking that goes on at Thanksgiving, and you finish one dish and move on to the next. But I'm just thankful for these little cans. It's already done for me. But if you want to make it homemade, yes, you go right ahead, and that will be perfectly fine too. So that's 1 can of, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some of my chicken broth to these cans just to loosen up any extra that may be down in there, and get all that goodness out of there, okay? So I am doing about 8 ounces of chicken stock, chicken broth. Just using some of it to okay, got all that out of there. Okay, all right, I'm also going to add, did I get my, there it is. I'm also going to add, let me look at my, yeah, I'm going to add 1 teaspoon of, this is just my poultry seasoning, okay? I'm going to add 1 teaspoon, 1 heaping teaspoon of poultry seasoning. I'm also going to add a teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of salt. I'm also to this going to add a teaspoon of onion powder. It will not be lacking in flavor, no worries there. Okay, I'm also going to be adding in 4 eggs. These are my eggs from my neighbor who raises free-range chickens. She keeps me blessed with eggs. So I'm going to be putting in, already smelling like Thanksgiving in here, guys. I'm going to be putting in 4 eggs. I will give all this a good mixture before I add the rest of my, and y'all, I will get it all combined with my, and then like I said, I will be putting this in a lock and seal container, but the morning of it, when I take it out, I'll put it in my baking dish. I will put a half a stick, oh, my butter. Yes, come here, butter. I'm adding in a stick of butter right now, but in my pan the morning of, I will melt half a stick of butter in the bottom of my baking dish before I pop it in the oven. So let's just recap this. I've got a pan, about a pan and a half of cornbread. I've got about 5 to 6 homemade biscuits all crumbled up. Y'all saw me crumble that up together. I've got a can of cream of celery, a can of cream of chicken. I've got 4 eggs. I've got a teaspoon of onion powder, teaspoon of poultry seasoning, teaspoon of salt, teaspoon of pepper. And like I said, I will always, the morning of, if I want to add another can of cream of chicken or cream of celery or more chicken broth, I will do that at that time, okay? Because like I said, I know with all this bread, it's going to soak up all the liquid. Okay, so I've got that well combined. So I'm going to add in my stick of butter. And you just kind of like know the consistency of what you're looking for. And remember, I've already put some chicken broth in it. I filled up my cans with my chicken broth too. Let me give that a little bit of a... Add in a little bit of my chicken broth. And like I said, I probably will the morning of add... Oh yeah, that's looking good and smelling good. I would, if my mother-in-law didn't bring a pan of dressing too, I would probably double this and do two cans and, you know, 2 complete pans of cornbread, double this recipe in size. But when she brings a pan and I bring a pan, we always have plenty of, but see, that's heavy. And y'all see the consistency of that? Okay. Well, I will loosen that up, like I said, the morning of. I'm going to, but I think that is perfect. I've got my eggs, got my broth, got all of my seasonings, got my cream of celery, my cream of chicken, my cornbread, my biscuits, and my broth that I made. So, yeah. And I haven't really decided. I've got some ground celery that I may add to this the morning of too. I will probably either add 1 more can of cream of celery or add some celery seasoning in here. But anyhow, so let me show y'all what I'm going to put it in. I've got this bowl right here that I can sit down in my bottom drawer of my freezer. This really, really locks and seals on there really, really tight. I have the hardest time getting it off, so I'm going to wait. But I'm going to put everything into this bowl, and then I'll be able just to pull it out for Thanksgiving. Pop it in my baking dish with some melted butter on the side, and pop it in that baking dish, 350 degrees, and add a little bit more chicken stock to this, loosen it up some. Like I said, this bread's going to absorb a lot of the liquids, and I will use this smaller one, get all that. Just loosen it back up and bake it, and it'll be delicious. Let me see if I can. And that will bake up, guys, and then I will have some gravy to go on top of it. But that's what my cornbread dressing looks like. I pop it into that oven, bake it up 350 degrees for about probably 45 minutes to an hour, and the top will get golden and in color. And I'll just check it, make sure it's cooked all the way through. And I'm sure the morning of I will do a short little video and show y'all how I bring some more moisture and liquid back to it. I tell y'all, that's why I love to use these bowls, because there it goes, lock and seal. And liquefy it and bring it some moisture back into it when I pour it in my pan, when I take it out of the oven. I'll video that with y'all so that y'all can see the finished product, okay? I'll even sample it, dish me up a little bit with some gravy on top, and I'll let y'all see it. Now, I'm not sure which dish that I'm going to do next, but I am going to be working on some of my Thanksgiving dishes and just preparation ahead of time. Anything that I can prepare in advance, it just helps me the morning. The less I have to do in the kitchen, the more time that I can spend fellowshipping with my kids and my grandkids and my parents and my husband, and that's truly, you know, what it's all about. Anyhow, I'm just thankful when we're all together. We're a large family and spread out, and a lot of times it's hard to get everybody together all at the same time up under the same roof, but when we do, it's loud and crazy, and I love it. So look forward to it. Okay, listen, I'm gonna go. I'll be back again really soon with another recipe. We'll do another recipe together. Can I thank you so much for following my page and encouraging me with your comments and just your likes and your shares and just all the sweet, kind gestures that you do to help my page to grow. I'm grateful for it. If I can encourage you to go out and find somebody to show some love and kindness to, be a blessing. Be thinking of somebody right now that you know maybe spending the holidays alone, or may not have anybody to spend the holidays with, or maybe shut in and can't get out. Take them a plate or invite them to join you and your family. There are ways that we can find ways to share the kindness and the love of God during this upcoming season. But I love you guys. I encourage you to be his hands and feet and his mouthpiece, and to share his wonderful love with others, okay? I'll see you back soon in Gigi's kitchen for another great recipe. Bye until then.